these teams, though, right? Because even the
Mhm.
transition coming from the playoffs into the last chance, already quite a bit of a shift that we've had with those participating teams. And I think they are going to look to take it even further, looking to just push this point system to its absolute limit.
I mean, that is the thing that they have to do. They actually played the first 3 days, even the last chance, some of them, for just this platform, for this grand final stage. And performing here is the main key. Yeah, you have made your mistakes, you have made some of the moves that you shouldn't have, but now there's even more seriousness to this situation that you have to not make any kind of wrong moves. Yes, you have 3 days, you have 18 matches of action throughout the whole journey that you're going to do. But 18 matches means it goes both way. You can make the mistakes, but at the same time, there's so much to be played on by the teams for all of these names that even if you're not doing great on day number one, day number two, or you're doing great on day number one, day number two, you might not do great or do great on the day number three. But the prize pool distribution that we have been talking about throughout the whole journey, it is the 1,500 US dollars. The champions get 700. A runner-up gets half of that. That is 350. Third place gets 250. Fourth gets 100. Fifth with the 50 US dollars. And most valuable player, the single individual guy, the person who's going to have the most elimination, the most survival time, and the most damage is going to receive that $50 individually.
Yeah, it's going to be the GOAT with the most, right? That is who we're going to look to see who will be getting that MVP reward. But yeah, definitely something to play for. $700 could definitely fill up the bank quite nicely. So that is going to be an interesting one to see just who will be the one to claim that champions slot. Of course, we've got 18 contenders, and it could be any one of them. And of course, in case you were curious as to who it will be, here we have it. It is going to be Alpha 7, DRS, Bigatron by Vitality, Team Secret, Alter Ego, Champions Esports, Horror Esports, as well as RRQ Ryu. We got Sem9, DRX, Vampire Esports, Boom Esports, Talon, Tribe Eremacy, A1 Esports, Yangon Galacticos, E Arena, and then, of course, Voin Donkey.
Mhm. But I'm seeing Champions Esports, even though they were on the hashtag number 10. And let me tell you guys, ASI had backed off from their grand final slot. And because of that, the next contender onto the overall ranking was the Champion Esports on the hashtag number 10. And that's why they're here into the grand finals playing it up. The rosters going over. We have seen these names for the last chance survival, the playoffs, and now for the grand finals as well. Mafioso, Carrillo, Rebel, Squashbu, Kuna. All of these names, we're all familiar with this. The DRS, Bigatron by Vitality, Team Secret. But my main concern for today, starting today, is for all of these teams on, in fact, how DK, how they're going to be able to get their momentum up. Yeah, they
Mm.
have been playing for the past couple of days. The momentum should be set, but it's the grand finals. They have to reset their formation from the very get go, from the 0 points that they are going to start on. And everyone now knows exactly what other team is actually capable of. They have tested the water. They know. So my main concerning fact is, are they actually going to go complete haywire like we saw in the last chance survival, or we're going to see that complete safe side game style throughout these 3 days like we saw into the playoffs?
I mean, it could be an interesting one to have that answered because if we look at what we had going back to our first day of play in the playoffs, Bigatron as well as Hura played a very strong day number one. You can add Alter Ego to that as well. So there is already quite a bit of a statement that has been made as our squads kind of stepped out onto the battlefield just for this first few times, right? Of course, and then we look over towards our second day. That is where we had Tribe Eremacy also really rising up to the occasion. Vampire Esports right there
Mhm.
alongside them. And then, of course, RRQ also just absolutely going crazy. But it was their last day of play. So I think Yangon Galacticos could definitely look to come in with quite a bit of a statement here today because remember, on their first day of play, they made it all the way into the top six, finishing in fifth place with 61 points. So they've shown that, should they decide, they could really just let it loose, come through with a double winner chicken dinner, and just, light this lobby ablaze. So I think there's going to be a lot to be discovered here today as to exactly what the team's mentality is, what approach they're going to be looking to take here, and how much of that aggression they'll be looking to bring on through. Of course, in day 1, 2, and 3, we did have a few of the matches that went by extremely quickly. In fact, one of the matches, I think the last one on day 3, we had 3 players by phase 3. I said that before and I'll keep on saying it because that's absolutely insane. 3 players by the 3rd stage just shows you what these teams are capable of. So I want to see how that is going to maybe translate into today's action, right? Could we see a bit of that continuous coming through, or is there going to be an entirely different shift? Because as we know, the finals themselves is always different to what we see in the playoffs and what we see in those last chance qualifiers.
I mean, yes, the play styles, it's completely different on both of those stages. But there is one also more factor that we do have to take into the consideration amongst all of these teams is that the top nines from the playoffs, they had a very, I'd say, quite a day yesterday. They were not playing. They have not been playing these games whatsoever. So only the last chance qualifiers, they're going to be playing continuously throughout the whole scenario of this games. But yes, the top nines that did manage to like secure the playoff sections that got onto the top nine, they had a free day, meaning some of the momentum should have been broken. But going into the match like schedule, it is the 3 Miramars, 3 Wrangles. Once again, the same map rotation that we saw into the last chances. Now they're going to have it multiplied it by 3 for the next 3 days, meaning 18 total matches in which there's going to be 9 Wrangles and 9 Miramars whatsoever. But starting with the Miramar, like the first match being the first match, it's definitely going to change a slight bit of momentum for some of the teams, as we did talk about into even the last chance survival. That yes, some of the teams do play good on the Miramar, but Erangel is one of those matches where everyone knows what's going on, how they want to play it off, where the circle might actually take the hard shift as well. And on top of those, the locations that is into the safe side as well.
Yeah, so there's going to be quite a bit to be discovered here, as you've said already. It's an even split, right? The same amount of Erangels as there is with regards to those Miramars. So, yeah, if a team favors either of those 2 maps, there's going to be a lot of opportunity for them to really bring in those points to go farming, I'd say. So I want to see just where these scores are going to be ending after our first day. Are we going to see another 61 points getting secured, or will they look to push that even further, right? I mean, it could go either which way, but I think an interesting thing to look at potentially here is that if we have a similar approach from a lot of the teams, we're not necessarily going to be seeing one squad absolutely running away with regards to points, right? It's going to be a very balanced distribution with regards to the overall points then.
I mean, it all depends on the mentality at this point for the teams. How many points that they can secure into the first match, first and foremost, that's going to determine the rest of the day action for them. They're not playing good, they have to go for the aggressive approach. They're playing good, they can keep continuing the same approach that they did in that particular match to get those points for themselves. So with this, I'm really excited to actually see the first plane. In fact, to know where the teams are actually going and how many of those early clashes are we going to face. These are the names that do love the early clashes. We know because every time, every single stage, the playoffs last match, the final stage last match, last chance survival last match, everybody was going completely haywire. We have seen these teams end the match within 15, 18 minutes of the game. But at the same time, if they want to, if they do like it, they play it up until the 30th minute.
Yeah, we actually saw that come through yesterday, right? 1 or 2 of the games yesterday went all the way through to stage number 9, the final phase. So I'm curious whether or not the approach is going to lean a little bit more to that late game finish or the late day finish, right? Or Are they going to go like, you know what, it's fine. We're going to start it off day one. This is the opportunity for us now to lay our fundamentals to get the points secured to ensure that we don't have to worry too much about day number 2. So let's go a little bit crazy. Let's see how many points we can get in. Maybe we can get all of them. And so far, the highest elimination or the highest winner chicken dinner that we've seen was with 17. 17 eliminations in one match. Not necessarily with a winner chicken dinner, but we did see 17 eliminations in one match. So I'm curious as to whether or not these teams are going to try and maybe hit a 20 bomb, right? 20 eliminations. It's not impossible. Looking at the caliber of these squads, I can definitely see one of them. I don't know which one, but I'm sure one out of the 18 is going to decide to at some point pull off an insane maneuver like that. So yeah, even just yesterday or the day before, we got all the way up to 15 eliminations for a winner chicken dinner. And that, of course, was done by Vampires and a few other squads as well. So numerous teams have stepped up to the plate, step up to the challenge. I mean, we've seen Young on Galacticos come through with a 13 elimination winner chicken dinner. Talon came through with 9. We had so many impressive performances across the board. So I think there's going to be, or there will be rather, a lot of opportunities for these teams to come in and try and see just how much they can challenge those scores.
Yeah, that's the thing. E-Arena was the team in yesterday's matches that did got those 17 eliminations that were kind of on the elimination hungry side. But at the same time, yes, I do agree with you. There should be some teams. There should be at least 1 or 2 team that will try to go for that 20 elimination marker. And on top of that, imagine a winner chicken dinner. That's 30 points. That's almost all the points that the lobby can accumulate. And you're just getting that in a single match, in a single game. It's going to give you so much of a momentum on top of that. But for that, you have to play it on the edge. The teams will have to play it on the edge. It's going to be a double-edged sword. You're getting those eliminations. You have to know that you can also get eliminated from that point onward. You are making sure that how hard you're hitting, you're also going to get hit that hard on top of that. So it's just about the mentality at this point and the gun blazing. How well you can control your gun, the new AK Akaban, the M416, because I've seen players actually switch from the M4 throughout this journey to the AKM Akaban for some reason. And in just my opinion, I think that might be because of the spray control that this new gun has. It's kind of like GS9, the 9mm Rondo gun. It's completely straight up with the sprays, even 4 times, even 6 times. It goes without even a slight bit of recoil.
I mean, so there's definitely got to be a few of these metas that would come into play, looking to see, what weapons the teams look to prioritize and what they favor as they move through. I mean, yeah, we've seen quite a bit of different weapons getting utilized. We've seen a lot of shotties coming into play. I think one weapon that's not necessarily changing is going to be the grenades, right? They're going to stay in exactly the same shape. You pull the pin and off it goes, and it does what it does. So we've seen some beautiful placement with those as well. Yeah, I mean, we did see Yumiko also coming in clutch with a few of those grenades as well. So yeah, I think there's going to be there's a wide variety of ways to come through with a bit of that destruction, right? As you've been asking for.
Yeah.
So I'm curious as to what that play will be. And one thing that I've noticed is we've not really seen too many snipers being used, right? The bolt actions. Minis come in a lot, but we don't see a lot of bolties.
Yeah, the new snipers that you can buy from the shops, those have been used quite a couple of times. We have seen that kind of going on with the teams and everything. But it's not the meta of snipers anymore. People and teams prefer to use the sprays for some reason, even at the long range, because they're so accustomed to that gun, rather than the single action of those sniper rifles, the ARM or the other guns that you can find up into the airdrops. So all of these factors do come into the play. But yeah, there's the new mechanic where now you can shoot the hovercraft as well, get the player out of the hovercraft. I do love that new mechanic as well because it changes everything. The players that used to like just survive into the hovercraft till the very end until it explodes, or the players goes into the reload, is not gonna be the case anymore. You're finally going to be able to take the player out of that hovercraft, even if he's right on your face, and that changes everything. You're not going to be safe even in there. Yes, you're safe from the grenades, the throwables, and everything, but for how long? The spray, as soon as it's going to come into that a lighting on the top, it's straight up going to hit you on the head. It's not even the body shots anymore. It's straight up the headshot that connects through that hovercraft.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, it keeps on shifting, right? There's no place to be safe anymore. The only place that you're safe is in the lobby. That's it, right? If you're in the lobby, nobody in game can hurt you over there, so you'll be okay. You'll be all right. We actually have seen 1 or 2 AMR shots come through, but that again also just happened once or twice, right? Literally 1 or 2 shots connecting up, and that was it. We've not seen any hits other than that come through. I do recall a few plays from yesterday. We did see the AMR being played. And other than that, I predominantly saw the Mini being utilized, which is, of course, technically to some extent almost an AR because it can be used at that same pace. I'm not skilled enough to do that. But yes, it is definitely something that we've seen quite a bit of. So it's going to be an interesting dynamic to see kind of just how these teams look to utilize that. And I think it's a good distribution of the maps, as we've said, right? So Miramar historically usually is that map where you can get a little bit more of the sniping in because it allows for a lot more range because your enemies are much further away, but you can also see them at that distance. Where we get into Erangel, there's a lot of opportunities to come in hard, to come in aggressive, just rush into the compounds and go absolutely guns blazing. So I'm curious as to how the teams are going to look to kind of balance that dynamic, right? Will we see a full-on rush with ARs and UMPs and, SMGs just going crazy? Maybe a few shotties in there? Well, we'll find out as we are going to be hopping into our first match of the day in a very good flight path to start us off with.
I mean, sure, that's a decent flight path going from one corner to another corner, almost bisecting the map in half. But those major drop locations like Los Leones, the El Pozos, they're actually almost going to be not accessible unless you glide really high to that particular location of yours. Chumacera, yes, it's accessible. Valle del Mar is accessible. The rest of the areas, they're easily accessible. And majority of the teams actually even go towards the Hacienda del Patron, the Picado area, the Monte Nuevo. And we have only seen a couple in the El Pozo, but there's a lot of that aggressive stances into the Los Leones. So being not available this head on early on into the game, there's definitely going to be some of the clashes that might occur by finding cars, trying to find the cars, or getting some of those arsenals and their drop rotations. There's definitely going to be some changes in the drop locations as well for all of these teams. So far, Arena is actually heading towards the Los Leones. There is Vampire Esports close to them. There's Talon Esports, Bigatron by Vitality. They're splitting up. Some of the players are going straight up to the top side, the power grid. Some of them going Picado, but the Circle is going to be the mastermind of them all, going straight down into the southern side of the Los Higos, the Minas Delta areas, and somewhat getting itself submerged somewhat into the water.
Well, I mean, I'm going to take it, right? A little bit of water in the desert is not going to be a bad thing to have. So it's going to be an interesting play, though, moving down on towards the southern positioning, because that does change up the way in which these teams are going to look to get themselves situated and move through. So, yeah, you're going to have to play for that high ground. You're going to have to try and lock down a compound along the way. And this is where I think a position like what we saw Talon finding themselves in could potentially be quite a favorable position to hold for a vast majority of this match. We could also see a little bit of something coming up in towards Los Leones. But then again, if we look over into Minas del Valle or Valle del Mar, over towards that western side of zone, where we currently have the Yangon Galacticos situated, there could be so many things coming through on them. And I like that we see the live locations now being revealed on screen as well.
Yeah. The locations are there. everybody is somewhere in a different location. Aside from Tribe Aeromessi and Alter Egos, there's also BTR and Vampire Esports straight up into the Picado as well. So what we can assume is that this might be the only places we see the contestations. But look at the Los Leones. There is two teams, E Arena and A1 Esports, close into the area, and I only see A1's one of their players close into the action where they can get into the fight. But there we go, Secret versus Triber Messi. It's happening, ladies and gentlemen. First two initial fights occurred. Triber Messi losing two of their players in this early on heavy collision. Secret, amazing, getting those two eliminations without the casualty. Yes, there's he's going to be revived. We can totally he's going to be revived. So, Messi, your next move, what it is and what you should be doing right now is getting into the car, getting out there, getting to the side, and then moving on from that point onward.
Well, we'll be moving on pretty swiftly with it indeed, as we are looking over towards Stripe Aeromessi here. Only a duo, as you've mentioned, so it does change things ever so slightly with their approach for the remainder of this game. But we'll see just how much of an impact it will have on them. Team Secret now going to be moving further and further up towards the northern side, which is interesting because they still have about 4 minutes left before this first zone starts to close up. So there's a lot of opportunity for them to maybe rotate all the way up into Hacienda del Patron. Go grab that golden dorado that's over there and then start making their way elsewhere. But it doesn't seem like they're going to be looking to do that, at least just not just yet, right? They could maybe look to get a little bit cheeky here. We do see another squad just holding up in towards Minas Generales. So could this be another opportunity now for Team Secret to lock in even more eliminations?
At this point, this is just a start. Even if the teams do play it off good, but Alter Egos in the midst of all of this, there we go. Versus Secret, it is the team that got the first two initial eliminations. Now they are the one that have been taken down, one player at the very least, and the rest they will be pushing on. There's definitely going to be some clashes from Alter Egos. We do have to see that, and we do have to know what's going to happen.
Yeah, we'll definitely find out what is going to be happening indeed. Now Vampire, Lazarus, keeping a nice little hot position over here, a hot angle. BTR starting to rotate up. It's a good position here for Vampire to hold, but I think for BTR also a decent position that they find themselves in because there is quite a bit of that ridge that could be utilized if they are deciding to get the jump in on them. But now, oh, there we have it. It is going to be go time as a flame starts the party over onto BTR. Now a lot of rotational play coming through still. Bumblebee going to be buzzing on the ridge, looking for a bit of an opportunity, but Talon not going to allow any of that to come through just yet.
Right now, the situation that we are seeing is going slow. Well, that's all I can say for this approach of the team so far, that they're going slow for this match. They don't want those unnecessary fights, even though at the very start we did see Team Secret versus Alter Ego that occurring. But right now, it's Talon Esports on our screen. Yoru, Johan, so far, not even a single player into the area. He can't find anyone. But yeah, it is Talon Flames together with him, two players into the area, into the location, just chilling out there, waiting for the circle to actually become the state number 2, and then they're gonna start doing something from that point onward. But Bicatron by Vitality, in the meanwhile, they're also getting into the safe locations, the compounds. They're making sure that their cars are well hidden, so anyone that's approaching, they don't see their cars until it's very late. But Hora Esports, ladies and gentlemen, still at El Pozo. The circle went towards the southern side, so somewhere in between 300, 400 meters. Esports still have to move, but whoa! I'm way off from the margin. 1,243 meters. There are some of the players of Hora Esports is outside of the circle.
Yep, that's a long way away. Let's see if they will decide to come through with those rotations anytime soon. In the meanwhile, it is going to be DRS now getting ready for a bit of a play up against the side here of A1. Now, the nades now finding their way up. It is going to be the first one down. CJ. Now, DRS waiting for a bit of a follow-up here. A bit of a follow-through. But unfortunately for them, A1 didn't fully commit to this push just yet. Two of their players now up on the front line. They still hold a bit of an off angle. And this is where it could get quite hot and spicy as we got Rowdy keeping a nice bit of overwatch here, as we can see just towards that northern side. So it's going to be up to Flash and Deathstorm to make the decisive moves right here. DRS, though, they look like they've got this compound locked on down. Example, cooking up the nade, looking for a bit of an angle.
Nice.
Does receive one in turn, but the knock is there. And now it's going to be that opportunity for the push, but it does seem like the rest of A1 have decided, you know what, maybe we should go and try and clean this one up, as DRS is now down to a solo. JD having this entire engagement getting turned on its head.
Oh my. That's a 1v3 going on, but JD finally taking down Flash. And right with this, JD also gets eliminated. A1 Esports, Deathstorm going head-to-head with a 1 versus a 4 against a DRS as a player. But there we go. What's going to happen? Bigatron by Vitality. There's another team. Let's see. How well are they going to be able to take this into the accommodation and take those fights from this point onward? So far, they are close to the Vampire Esports. Bigatron versus Vampire. Ladies and gentlemen, this is another fight that will definitely occur. But on the other side, if you're talking about Alter Ego, Krypton hasn't fought it. He takes a shot up to the players. They get him down. Instantly also gets knocked out as well. But Frankie slowly approaching the situation, getting a lot of players from the Alter Ego down towards their HP. Rosemary onto the backside. Front line, there's another guy at the Alter Ego just chilling, taking shots, taking turns, and Frankie gets eliminated. Secret out of the match as well.
Yeah, that was a beautiful push coming from Alter Ego, just making the side, making the team there just kind of have to decide which way they want to fight. And Team Secret not having a good run in that, as they were just absolutely picked apart. But you gotta love these plays as they continue to come on through. But here's the important question I want to ask you about Yoru, right? Do you say the name, or when you say the name, do you drop your tone and go with a deeper voice? Yoru.
No. I don't think. Do I? I don't know. I mean, you should be the judge of that. But Hora Esports so far on our screen. So far, they're taking the fight against, I think that's Boom Esports into the area outside, and they're just, oh my god, Hora, they know what they want to do, but wait a second, you're gonna miss your shots. The Mini 14 is gonna finally connect as Sky Hora make sure that M416 is gonna take that final bullet on towards the players. The rest of the Boom Esports down to the last guy. It is that guy. He's low, he's getting that damage, and one single wrong move, staying outside of the play zone, that can actually also eliminate you as well.
Yep, blue zone, that big bad blue is going to be causing quite a few problems if the teams continue to stay out in it. But now for the meanwhile, we are going to be centering up quite comfortably, much closer here on towards Minas del Valle. So this is going to be an interesting area to play through. As you can see, there's a lot of valleys now being focused on. Chumacera is going to be the hotspot for the time being, as we've got about 3 or 4 teams currently situated within that area. So the pressure is going to be on. I think RRQ, they've come through with a beautiful read on the positioning, just holding more towards the northern side of zone. So that is going to be applying quite a bit of pressure to the teams that are yet to rotate in now.
I mean, so far, what we are seeing, the early fights, yes, that did happen. A1, Team Secret, they got eliminated. DRS also got eliminated. But aside from that, the rest of the teams, as we are talking about them, it is somewhat Vampire Esports. Look at that. They're close to BTR. They're also close to the Wine Donkeys. So with this into the consideration, I'm saying it's a slow-paced lobby, even though that the teams are close. The teams are right next to each other. They can take the fight. They're choosing not to take those fights. Meaning, with fourth stage, fifth stage coming into the play after like a short while, minute, 2, 3 maximum, we're gonna see a complete destructive lobby. Everybody is going to be completely going for absolutely everyone from that point onward. As soon as they're gonna see someone move in, the shadow, anything, they're gonna shoot at it. There's nothing safe from that point onward. So with my suggestion, I'd say take the fights right now. Make sure that you're really comfortable into the fifth, sixth stage, that you won't have to be in a very panic mode to take every single absolutely fight, to whether dissipate the team away from you or get those eliminations.
Yep, it's going to be a tough decision that a lot of these teams will have to make. Are they going to choose violence or survivability? And of course, we've got, what? How many is that? That's 10 squads that are yet to find any eliminations. So there is quite a bit of a demand now for that to come through, as the teams will start to converge onto each other, as the zone is going to start forcing their hand. Vampire, just on the outside here, could definitely benefit off of a few of those sprays, but the position's not necessarily working out in their favor, at least not for the time being. Ooh, Boom, though, they're going to open it up onto the side there of Alpha 7, as we look now at Mula trying to find the opportunity, but BTR is going to stop them in their tracks as they secure another elimination. That is their first point on board. Now, Bumblebee getting ready to just come flying up the hillside is going to be Voin Donkey. The first line of aggression they will have to face as they look to gain the ground, gain the territory. The sprays are in, though, and there we have it. The first knock is in, and a quick conversion as well.
A quick conversion right in there. 14 minutes, 15 minutes, and we still have 14 teams alive. Stem9 finally take the fight against Hora Esports. There's also a Alpha 7 versus a Boom Esports going on. Look at the kill feed. Look at the dead alive counter. Everybody's going haywire. There's Alpha 7's flare going down, Stem9's flare down. Alpha 7 having those 4 eliminations, meaning a full team, a full squad has also been eliminated. That is Boom Esports, but Hora Esports taking the fight against Alpha 7. In fact, Vampire Esports, not Alpha 7. Vampire Esports has one player from Vampire gets knocked out. It's a finisher right there. With the 2 eliminations, they're forcing their way headstrong against the Vampires' last player. But Vampires' last player, he got eliminated by, I do believe so, a big stab right there and then. So there was absolutely nothing that they could have done. But 3 eliminations so far from Hora Esports. Now going forward, there's Sem9. They have to move in the circle first and foremost. There's Sem9 into the very front side of their angles. Also, after the Sem9, there's also Voin Donkey. So it's a 3v fight, 3v deadlock that can be initialized from this particular location. But Jiggle and alongside of Sky, they're also pushing from the back, closing in. Sem9, oh my god, the guys just chill out there. Perone, he's gonna be taken down. Mampa, he's down. Manpa, alongside the rest of one player of Sem9. BTR is also getting down. Arena is also facing a heavy casualty over here. Jiggle Hora versus Voin Donkey. The third party has finally ensued, and in fact, it is Hora Esports that has actually took that for a third party and got that first initial elimination.
Yeah, this is not the time to go lying down. You got to stand up and fight. And Voin Donkey Hora going to continue to try and contest for control of the edge of zone. Also going to be very careful of Alpha 7's position just down towards that southern side. But the utilities, the grenades, now starting to find their way on through. We do see Talon also packing a bit of a punch there. But Hora absolutely running into the wall here as they are being met with quite a bit of aggression. At least they've been able to secure themselves those 5 eliminations, but now it's going to be that sneaky play coming through here from Carrillo and Squash Brew as they start to move on forward. Squash Brew will get taken on down. Revo could now potentially maybe look to bring in a bit of assistance here, but it does seem like they are going to instead prioritize just a little bit more of that longevity, keeping their distance at least now for the time being. But Hora looking to cement themselves right then and there. Stage 4 about to come to an end. Hora taking the lead with regards to the aggression. And if they can continue this flow, it's going to be a very happy start to the action. Ooh, Young on Galacticos coming through with a bit of a push. But there we have it. A very quick and efficient knock and conversion. E-Arena going to be the next team to make it out of here.
Oh my god. Nice job whatsoever going on for these players so far. But I'm loving the performance of Hora at this point. The way that they actually managed to secure this much of the elimination numbers without even a single casualty. They're going completely haywire into the lobby. Look at Sleepy right now getting an elimination. Jiggle face-to-face against Alpha 7's player. Carrillo in the front line, finally getting a headshot connected on Hora Esports' player. That's Jiggle down. Now he's going to push forward, get that elimination with the car, with the style, but after that, he's also going to face that elimination by the hand of the rest of the players into the proximity. Hora Esports, another elimination to their name. That's 8, I think 9 eliminations. Yes, 9 eliminations so far, but down to the top 10 PR. Only 4 more teams. Even after this big of an aggression, this big of a disastrous gameplay from all of the teams, have survived, have just got eliminated. That's the 5th one, and still, with the 9 teams remaining into the match, it's going to be even more destructive.
Yeah, well, we went from 9 to 8 in a blink of an eye. As you can see, now 23 players remain. That is all we have left. Young on Galacticos and DRX, all the way at that bottom side, now currently sitting with, well, 1 point to their name. Of course, that coming through from the placement points as we're about to close on through. 7 squads remain. A Sem9 will be the next team having to pack their bags. Now, Tribe RMSC still holding on with the duo, as we can see them just towards that more southern angle. DRX just waiting in the wing. But DRX, though, they've been able to kind of stay out of harm's way. Yes, they are down to a 3-piece themselves. Oh, well, no, wait. They still have the full squad up. Still trying to get those HP bars fully sealed. But now Hora, they're not going to be stopping anytime soon. They've got 9 eliminations, 3 players. And they're going to look to hit them double digits as they now turn their focus back in towards that zone. Nobody left on the edge here to try and contest with. So all they can do now is focus, focus, focus. Talon also starting with their rotation as they move on forward. And this is where it is going to go absolutely crazy because all the teams now converging down in the valley. So the few squads that we have up on the high ground are going to look to absolutely bully them down below.
I mean, at this point, or like Hora Esports, the performance that they're showing, it's absolutely phenomenal. It's actually phenomenal. But the rest of the teams, I kind of want to see them like Talon Esports going close into Hora. Oh my god, taking 1, taking 2 down. It's a 1 confirmation. That's double digit of elimination going to the name of Hora Esports right here, ladies and gentlemen. And they're not stopping their aggression. They're actually pushing forward towards the Talon Esports' side. The grenades coming, the car rammed down, and Boyza gets eliminated. Sleepy Hora also going forward, getting atop the hill, mountain location, getting knocked down on 1 player, 2nd player as well. That's 6 individual for Sleepy, 3 for Sky, 2 for No Fear. Oh my god, this team is going absolutely crazy, and they're not stopping at whatever being thrown at them from this point onward. RQ Ryu, they're also cooking those grenades against Alter Egos at this point, and Alter Egos is also retaliating with the same game style, grenades being thrown from one ridge to another, but stake for 6, and already the radius is kind of low. There's not a lot of places to be. You have to be careful on, you have to like take the fight, then move to the circles, or get into the circle and stop the other teams from actually entering out, even inside, even stepping in that circle. But the grenades, oh my god, there's a Molotov, the guy's on fire, someone gets an extinguisher, because this guy is going down. Another one going down with the car, the 3rd one is down as well, the 4th one going away with the sprays. As 12K, nope, from the front, it is done by the hand of Rosemary.
Well, I think it's safe to say that there's no gatekeeping happening here. The teams instead run out of the zone to go get those sprays and then comfortably roll on back in. Absolute showing of aggression coming through here. Now it's going to be Yangon Galacticos trying to survive, already getting just poked and prodded at. They are down to a solo. It's going to be up to Say Cloud to see if Yangon Galacticos will have any say in the remainder of this game. Down to the final 5 we go. You can see Team Eremisi, DRX, Hura, as well as Alter Ego all having to face off against that solo coming through from the side of Yangon Galacticos. Ah, beautiful nade coming through from No Fear. Absolutely on point. The damage is starting to cook. But it will be C. Horror now go for 15 eliminations. One play. That's all they need. Sky just moving up, trying to get a good read on the situation here. As it is now Horror looking to apply themselves. They could maybe secure a very cheeky play. Ooh, Sleepy getting dropped on down. Even more sprays now. As Team Eremisi come peeking around the corner. Delta getting deleted. And now, Younger Galacticos, out they go. Horror hitting 15 eliminations.
That's 15 already, and they're in the top 4. Oh my god. But I think this will be the end for the reign of Aura Esports from this point onward, because it is just No Fear, a solo guy alive, and Alter Egos. They have surrounded this guy from 2-3 different directions. Alva is there. There is, in fact, Dalo, T to 5 into the front lines as well, the back of the mountaintop. There's another guy of the Alter Egos, but we're down to the top 3. Great job for Hora Esports to even secure the top 3 after getting this much of those eliminations. But Alter Egos so far, 3-man, 8 eliminations to their name. DRX. This is one team. DRX is one team that did not partake in any fights into the early stages, into the mid stages, but the rain is still going on. That's the 16th one into the side, but from the back angle, there's Rosemary 911. He called it. He called a 911, but not for himself, but for Hora Esports. Got them back to the lobby. Now down to the 2 versus 4. DRX. This is an easy winner chicken dinner just because of the man advantage that DRX has for themselves. They can just straight up push on the Alter Egos this player. Even Alter Egos, they're completely in a different direction. They're super far away from each other. Nia finally managed to get a grenade on the Rosemary, meaning the last guy that is in the front lines. He can't do nothing but to get and try to get into the safer side location.
Well, one thing that I would normally say is that it's quite difficult to pick up momentum this late into the game, but it seems like DRX are having no difficulty doing that whatsoever. It is now Daybot standing between them and that winner chicken dinner. Alter Egos currently sitting on 9 eliminations. Are they going to be able to hit double digits, or will we see DRX wrap up this fight before they can even pull that off? Now it's going to be a full send. You can see absolute coverage, and the shots are in. That's it. DRX will walk away victorious, locking in that winner chicken dinner. And of course, timing their moment to strike to perfection.
Perfection it is. Surviving gets the winner chicken dinner. Violence does not always solve all of your problems, but yeah, they solve majority of your problems. But chicken dinner with the survival, DRX has done it into the match number 1 of the grand finals, ladies and gentlemen, of the Lidoma Asia Showdown season number 3. 3, maybe 4 eliminations to their name, and 14 total points that this team is gonna have. It's definitely going to be a good number, a decent number, but not good enough to get them into the very top of the leaderboard. That's one thing you have to be throughout the journey. You have to be at the very top of the leaderboard. Ladies and gentlemen, this was the team that got the winner chicken dinner, but the MVP goes to none other than No Fear. This guy has absolutely been insane. But wait a second. I think we did see one of the players of the Hora Esports having even 6 eliminations, but I think the damage may have not been that good because of that fact. He's not into the overall MVP ranking, but 1,521 damage, 22 minutes and 28 survival time. This guy, No Fear, 911, he does have the MVP to his name.
I mean, No Fear 911 definitely showing that they have no fear, right? call the emergency services because No Fear is getting ready to cook out on the battlefield. What a play that was. 1,500. That is just an insane figure to look at, but deserved performance there. And as we can see it's going to be 16 elims finish for the side there of Hora, putting them quite comfortably on 21 points. What a way to open the games here on our first day of the grand finals.
What a way indeed. 20 plus points in the match number 1 of the grand finals. It's insane. Absolutely. I'd say criminal at this point, the way that they have secured these points. Alter Ego, they're also not that behind. 15 points. DRX, the Winner Chicken Taker team, having 14 points. Even with the chicken dinner, they're still residing on the hashtag number 3. Triber Messi with 8, 6 for Alpha 7, 5 for RRQ. There's a Yangon with 4 alongside of Talon, alongside of A1 Esports, Sem9, Bigatron, Secret has 3 points for themselves. E-Arena, DRS having 2, Wine Donkeys with 1, but Vampire and Boom not even securing a single point. That's definitely going to put them in a disadvantage. But this is also the overall ranking, ladies and gentlemen, post match number 1. But matches going on. Miramar, it's done and dusted. 2 more Miramars, 3 more Wrangles to go. And the next one that we're gonna see is the Wrangle match.
Yep, it's going to be a very, very interesting one. I think there's going to be a few teams looking to come back with a bit of vengeance, right? Vampire Esports, I think, is going to be one of them. Boom Esports could be the other that could look to kind of climb their way back up those rankings. But yeah, I mean, looking at what we've seen from Boom even, they've shown that once they get into Wrangle, they could definitely look to bring in a little bit of that spice, a little bit of that, well, boom, I guess, right? So the pressure is going to be there. The opportunity will be presenting itself as well. So I'm curious to see what game 2 is going to be bringing in.
I mean, yeah, this is just the start. This is just the tip of the iceberg, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have so many more matches, so many more game styles for all of these teams. But before we head over to our next match, ladies and gentlemen, we're actually going to head over to a short break segment of the highlights. You do not go anywhere. Make sure you like the stream and subscribe to the channel, and we will see you after this highlighted break.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the first day of finals right here in the Asia Showdown Season 3. My name is DK and I'm joined by Torix. And of course, if you missed it, the first match, Horror Esports stepped out, coming in clutch and absolutely going crazy with 16 eliminations. But DRX stepped up and claimed that winner chicken dinner, doing so with 4 eliminations to their name, giving them 14 total points. But the big question is going to be, what's going to happen when we step in onto Erangel? Because we've seen what Miramar is going to bring. What will be the flavor of the day? Of course, we are going to be finding out soon. But Torix, I got to say, Horror definitely making quite a bit of a statement in that first match.
Oh, they definitely did made a really great statement, a very bold statement for all of the teams that we are here to take that action against you at this point. But yes, Erangel, how well it's going to go for the teams, this is a big question, because we're going to a change of pace for the teams, where Miramar is usually very slow game, very slow map, and even on top of that, the team still managed to play it out kind of on the fast pace. Erangel is actually going to be even faster than that. I can totally assume that Erangel is definitely going to be faster than that. The pace is going to be much higher, much faster, and because of that, there's definitely going to be a lot more aggressions going on with this survivability that the teams have shown into the previous match. 14 teams into the stage number 4, stage number 5 alive. Oh, you cannot have that at any point in time in Erangel on 4th stage of the match. You're definitely going to have 10, maybe 9, maybe 8 maximum teams from this point onward. But if you have 12, 14 teams, every place is going to be contested at that point.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's not something that you want to see necessarily. But of course, while we get everything ready, we need to make sure. I think someone forgot their seatbelt, so we have to double check that everything is working as intended. So we are going to be hopping into another quick break. So be sure to stay tuned and we'll be right back afterwards. 2. Here we go, getting ready to move into game number 2. Of course, we are going to be heading right into Erangel for the Asia Showdown Season 3 Grand Finals. Day 1, Match 2, long sentence, but hey, we're going to get into it. We're going to see what these teams are going to be bringing in. Who's going to come in clutch? Will we see Aura come through with more aggression? Are they going to be able to get a winner chicken dinner this time around? We'll find out pretty soon, but you got to give it up to DRX. That was a very great timed execution from their end, right? Just waiting until the absolute moment and then coming out of the ashes like, they just knew what they were doing, stepped up, claimed that winner chicken dinner. Very similar kind of tactic that we saw A1 using on their first day of gameplay as well. So it seems it is a strategy that could pay off quite effectively for these teams. But speaking about effective, let's see who's going to be the most effective team with a very southern flight path coming through this time around.
Oh, that's a southern favored plane line right there, ladies and gentlemen. Quarry, Ferry Piers, Primox, Military Base Island, and the Nova of Noi. Those are all accessible for the teams. Northern side, we have Pachinki, we have Farm, we have Milta City, the Milta Power Plant as well, and in Erangel, we have generally seen some of the teams go into the Milta Power as well, but Giorgio Pool and the hospital, they're not going to be accessible unless they find their vehicles, unless they find some of the transportation to go into that direction. Same as the top island, the northern side island, the Severny shooting range, it's not accessible. But early fights, where are they going to happen? Hora going into near the proximity of the, I think, military base. But no, they're going northern side, meaning farm it is. They're going towards the farm. Secret going Pachinki. There's A1 near the 6 compounds of the bridge angle. There is Sim9 with Vampire Esports, whereas Vampire Esports, that's a 2-2 split that we are seeing from Vampire Esports so far. 2 players Quarry, 2 players Primox. That's a long distance to cover, but yes, you have at least one of your teammates to get you into the cover. The circle, on the other hand, is going to take a hard shift towards the eastern corner once again this time. We saw some of the eastern corner shifts in yesterday's matches, and once again, it is an angle, and it is an eastern side shift.
Yep, gotta love that shift indeed. Now, it's gonna be go time. Hora, quick onto the action here as they hop into the vehicles. It's gonna be Potato Hill right here alongside them. But as you can see, the feed is already lighting up. It's gonna be Team Secret getting their hands on a little bit of that action there as well, looking to get this party underway. But the big question is everybody going to be on board for that party, or is it going to be a slightly one-sided affair? We'll find out pretty soon. So we've got 2 squads all the way down in towards that military base. In fact, we've got a few of them, right? We saw A1 taking position up on towards that military bridge. So there's going to be quite a bit of pressure and contention now starting to come through. It's going to be Team Secret up in Pachinki feeling a little bit of that heat. Alpha 7 now also coming into the feed. As we can see, it is absolutely popping off right now.
Ooh, I want to see how many players are alive, how many of them got eliminated into the kill death chart. But so far, it is Champion that's receiving the heavy casualty onto them. Secret so far, they also have 1 elimination, but at the cost of one of their players. Triberum, as it is, that is in the front lines. GK with the PP Bison in hand. There is Strix with the barrel, with the M7, okay, M746, no, wait. Barrel. I'm just going to call that Barrel. He has the M7 in hand. There's GK. But with the SMG, I think the close range quarter will be better for GK at this point. But A7, wait a minute. It's not just 2 different teams in different locations. That's another team. That's a third team into the kill feed that we have just witnessed. 18 teams into the lobby, nonetheless. Finally, DK, this is the first time in the past 4 days, past 5 days, in fact, that we have seen a full lobby to be made into these games. 18 teams are finally in our screens. A7 versus Champions. Champions, Kano, in fact, also getting absolutely decimated. I think that's the 3rd one of Champion that has been taken down.
Yeah, I mean, this is where you want to sound the sound horn, right? The air horn. The whap, 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 because we got everybody in this lobby. So let's see how this is going to turn out as we have some beautiful shots here from Mafioso. Quick little bit of a shotty to the face there. Champions not in a good spot, but it's not a good spot for anyone. As you can see, 4 squads in the surrounding area. So we got Alter Ego, Alpha 7, we got C1, and then of course DRS as well. So this is a pretty hot and heated location, as I don't think I've ever seen this hillside look that hot. But now up in Pachinki, only 2 squads, right? Team Eremisi and of course Team Secret going to be looking to team up for some chaos here. They're going to be going toe-to-toe, a north-south split. Good spread that we have here. Trick's going to be keeping that front line, seeing if they can relay enough information back to the rest of the crew, prepping them for a bit of a push here. Is a fair showdown, though, 3v3. But as we can see, Team Secret starting with a bit of a spread, looking to see if they can go down the outsides there of Pachinki. In the meanwhile, speaking about outside, it is going to be Samsa just up in the trees, trying to pop a few tires here and there, making sure that that monster truck is either going to be driving really slowly or will not get used at all, trying to limit those rotations as best they can. But now Talon, RRQ fighting each other all the way down into the Millie base. The action is there. Let's see who's going to be the team to hold on. Voin Donkey in the mix as well. And now the push comes through. Very quick and efficient play as RRQ loses La Par.
Wait a second. This is the third party. Straight up on the push side. Talon in the back lines. Voin Donkey's having the first elimination. Front lines, the Talon Esports, they have to be very careful on pushing on. But RRQ down to the very last guy. That is the Gen Foss Ryu so far. The only person that's remaining for the whole team of RRQ. Situation's not looking good for this guy. But Ryzek, Zeta, alongside of Machi, alongside of Potato, all the 4 players of Voin Donkeys, they're actually still standing into the game. There's another players of the RRQ Ryu that's knocked out. And Voin Donkey, they have their eyes set up on that guy. They're definitely going to secure that elimination of this player. Potato getting no god, and after the 2 initial elimination numbers, they're going to go back into the compounds. But be very careful. Be very careful. The location, that Voin Donkey that you guys are looking at, there's nobody residing over there. But on your left side, near the single-story compound, there is the last guy of the team RRQ. So be very careful to not go too much out in the open, because he might take you down and he might take you out straight up. But Talon Esports, I think they've just left the premises. They're like, okay, nope, we don't want any of those fights to happen. Nobody's on the mountaintops of the military base island so far, but A1 Esports, they also have the first initial elimination. They just got that. They just managed to secure that. Tribe Eromisi in the midst of all of this as well, getting a fight against the Secret. And in Pachinki, on top of that, there are going to be Molotov, there are going to be grenades that will make their play in this.
Well, let's see if those mollies are going to be able to find where they need to go. I think if they brought in like a homing molly, that would be quite devastating. Fortunately, that's not a thing. And it's all down to how well these players can aim. Now it's going to be Tricks, keeping a very close ear here. Do you see more movement heading in the direction there of Pachinki, but not again, not a full-on commit coming in. I believe that was Vampire that we had in the wing, also popping in a few shots, contributing to the damage we are seeing on screen. But now Team Secret trying to figure out whether or not they can get it. The answer is yes, that is Strix down and out. Now Team Eremisi, finding a quick play onto a Shige, but that's actually Vampire or Talon coming through with a cheeky long reach play. Now the zone is going to look to center up on itself as it does pull us even closer on towards Mansion and Shelter. And this is going to be absolute chaos now, as the teams will have to try and cram themselves in here. Going to be looking for the next position to call home, at least for the time being. But again, very limited options indeed, as the push is going to be there. Vampires now having to figure out how the heck are they going to get out of this sticky situation that they've wiggled themselves into. Mueller Just keeping a nice little frontline angle here. And the nice thing about this is, though, seeing that it's stage 2, they can actually afford to be here for a little while. Once we hit that end of stage 3, moving into stage number 4, that is when the damage is going to become a little bit more troubling. So let's see what these 3 squads are going to look to do. Team Secret now could end their run very soon if they get caught out by Tribe Eremacy. Oh, Frankie, though. I think Torix has muted himself. I can see him miming, but I'm not hearing any words. So let's see where this is going to take us, though. Tribe Eremacy, Delta, super low on the HP. Yante now going to be on that far southern side. And it turns out Torix, yes, did forget to unmute himself. That's always the funny thing, right, with casters. It's like you talk, and then you realize, oh, nobody heard a word I said.
Oh my god. I did not got heard right here, but as soon as we're talking about this, there's some casualties going around. But Frankie, are you gonna be able to pop this first aid up or not? Oh my god, just barely he manages to do that. He's gonna finally give that revive, but Tribe Eremacy now down to the last guy, and Vampire also being dogged out into this area. Gyante cannot for hope to get on this a leveled ridge, get into the car, because the rest of the Vampire Esports, they're looking at him from the top of the mountain into the back lines. And even this location, I think he can still get those shots on him if he's not careful enough. Gyante finally coming back into the compound of the Pachinki. Even though 700 meters it is, stage number 2 is closing on, there's going to be a lot of damage. As soon as it's going to hit stage number 3, you can already see how the damage is going on towards the teams. But here we go, the stage is about to close, the stage is about to be made, and all of these numbers, all of these teams, 17 teams. DK, that's 17 teams in this lobby so far, alive, surviving, and you can see the shelter, the circle going towards the shelter area, where Sem9 is going to enter through the western region. There's already E-Arena close to A1's location. There's Talon on the southern side near the DRS location as well. So it's 4v, 5v fight straight up at the shelter at this time.
I mean, the area might be called shelter, but there is going to be none of that, right? There will be no place to hide with the sheer volume of players moving in. Talon going to be the first team to experience a little bit of difficulty here as the rush comes through, but NC2 will be dropped on down. Yoru coming through with a beautiful play. A flame now quickly just trying to reposition that vehicle. Let's see if Yoru can continue cooking as E-Arena are going to be waiting in the entrance. In the meanwhile, the hovercraft comes into play as DRS also tries to get in on the action. They start to move on forward. Samsa going to be looking to come in with that wide rotation, just regrouping alongside Example here. And I think for DRS, this is a good position to take occupancy off. Are they going to be opting for a little bit of that DRX play that we saw in the previous game? We don't quite know just yet, but what we are seeing is that Sem9 are going to be pushing forward right onto A1.
That's definitely the possibility that's going on. So far, it is the push that's going on. Sem9, A1 it is, and Sem9, they are not able to hold it off. Same as A1 as well. Both parties have got the first initial knockup, but A1, no, this is the wrong move. You just rushed in upon on the Sem9's guy, and that's going to cost you a lot. That Storm taking the fight to Fire and getting him down. Okay, Fire versus the DBS. It is the Molotov on its play as well. That Storm getting down. It's Rowdy, the solo guy, the only guy from this point onward that is surviving. He's trying to push towards the proximity as well to take down the players of Sem9 as well. Byron in the left side compound of Rowdy on the main double-story compounds. There is the team Sem9, the rest of the players. There's Boomy Sports in the midst of all of this, taking those shots with those grenades, trying to get some casualties done. Octa coming on, taking one player, Yumiko. is down, is done and dusted. A grenade comes over. Octa barely just surviving because of that, because of the grenade just getting boomed up early on. But there we go, Manpa getting eliminated. Sem9 Manpa's his own grenade for some reason got the demise of Boom Esports, even though as a third party they were not they did not manage to survive longer than Sem9 at this point. Sem9 is still alive. They're still gonna get that revival, but Vampire as a third party, fourth party, even a fifth party is coming into the play, taking down Sem9's player, 15th position. Sem9 gets eliminated on A1 Esports. A1, the team that was originally at this location, they are still remaining here. There are still two of those guys that is going to be residing, that's going to be surviving at this point. And at this location, there's still a lot of other teams that can actually push in and take those fights with them.
Yep, I mean, it's good play coming for you from A1, but let's see, will they make it? So far, it's looking pretty grim, as it is going to be Team Secret looking to join the party as well. Vampires, A1, Team Secret. I mean, pick a name. They've all been here. And another squad will fall, as it is going to be Vampire to make it out with 2 eliminations. Bigatron by Vitality, the next one down. Oh, no. There we go. A1 Esports out with 3. So we've said goodbye to 5 teams in a near back-to-back-to-back play here. We still are left with 11 as we now look to see who will be the one to hold on to the edge of zone. I've not seen this much fighting for one compound on the edge of zone in a good long time. But DRS, they are going to be the next one looking to call this place home, at least for the time being. Team Secret's still going to be trying to plant their flag. And then you also got to watch out for Yangon Galacticos, who we have just over on the edge there over in Walmart.
So far, the shelter is being the location where every team is coming to get those points for themselves. And DRS is another name that's close to the Team Secret, getting a grenade right on the face, getting a knockdown. Now with the 2 eliminations in their backpack, they're pushing on to the rest of the players of the Secret. A grenade goes over from the Secret side. Nobody's going to get hit. Nobody's going to get damaged. Don Chad, let's see. Grenade in hand. He's cooking it up. Finally going to put the pin back on. Only a single grenade. Just one chance. But, oh, wait a second. Samza managing to get GK down. That's a great grenade trajectory going around the RQ view in the midst of all of this casualties going around near the DRS, near the shelter area. There's a different party, different location, different angle that's also getting into the fights, getting eliminated. KYT with the domination going face to face against the Team Secret's player. That's one player down. Example trying to make sure that his player is surviving, but nope, he can't do that. S2 DBS making Secret is out. 7 eliminations on the hashtag number 10. They go. Not a single placement point, but elimination-wise, yes, a decent number. A decent number of eliminations that they have for themselves. At this point, this is a lot of casualties going around, even for the kill feed to keep up. Alter Ego closing down DRX. There we go. One player. Almost the second one. No, he's going to get out of the car, get another one, and get as well the third one out in the same location. In a single instance, Krypton did a 1v3.
I mean, that is absolutely insane, right? We saw 6 teams getting deleted over on that western side of zone in one location, right? DRS rather, still going to be holding on as we move a little bit further into the zone. Alpha 7 is still up. We can see the players there from E Arena still up and added. We've got Yangon Galacticos as well as Alpha 7 on the edge of prison. But now I'm going to be looking over towards Voin Donkey to see what they're going to be doing, as they are still rocking a full squad and they are going to be looking to play a little bit of a high ground territory here.
I mean, at this point, you have to play on the edge. You have to keep gaming on the edge from this point onward, because if you're not, there's definitely going to be someone in here to get those aggressive stances up on you. There's Smile. There we go. But at the same time, E Arena going into the area, taking the players, the shots on DRS, giving out his location. Now, Joker, you have to be very careful on what you're going to do. But example, he has already made his way towards the shelter. He has spotted down the player of Arena in that shack. Did a lot of damage. Made sure that he is not showing his face anytime soon. But Samza from the DRS side also is down. He needs to get that revival done as soon as possible. Example, finally first is going to heal himself back to the 75. Then finally he's going to get that revival done. Stage number 5 it is. And top 8, we are seeing Arena close in this area, throwing a grenade. It's going to hit, but not enough to get the casualty up on the players. The Joker comes in to close a play, gets knocked down instantly, and getting a third-party shot. That's a kill steal right there.
Well, gotta love to see all the action we have unraveling. But now, DRS going in for the res, looking to bring themselves back up to a 2-piece. Arena gonna strike onto Yangon. But in the meantime, we are gonna say goodbye to Talon as they will get picked up. Alpha 7 also gonna be feeling quite a bit of the heat here as they are, of course, going head-to-head with Alter Ego. Squash Brew and the rest of the crew now are gonna try and see if they can survive as Alter Ego comes rolling on in. Rosemary on the ridge. Alpha 7 already taking so much damage. Muffy also going in for that res, but will they be able to pull it off in time as the full send is there? Arena goes out. DRS just absolutely popping with the utilities, but now Alter Ego trying to close it up, and they do succeed as Alpha 7 does not make it out. Now, Horror Esports, they've been quiet for a little while. We've only seen 3 eliminations come their way. They're now just riding out the storm, looking to see if they can find that next golden position to move into. Alter Ego, though, they're going to be trying to lock it down on the edge. Look at that. Oh, jump shots. And Voin Donkey make their way off. They are done and dusted. DRS now going to rotate up onto the high ground, looking to see if they can find another bit of an opportunity. But again, there's not much high ground to use, but this could be a big brain play coming through from DRS now, sneaking in right behind Alter Ego.
This definitely can help you, but we're officially down to the top 4. Stage number 5, we were seeing 8 teams, 12 teams. At one point in time in stage number 5, we were seeing 14 teams. But now, as soon as the stage number 6 is going to commence, we're going to see only top 4 teams with 10 players remaining. Alter Ego, they have been spotted by the Horror Esports. There's DRS into the back line to the shelter as well. Near the Yangon Galacticos, he can spot the player out, Samza, and I want to see Example, where Example is right now situated at, as well as we see him. He gets taken down by Alter Ego right there. But wait a second. Dalo, why? Why are you hitting your own player? What is going on at this point? Did he steal your elimination? Did he steal your frag or something at that point? I'm not sure what is going on. But here we go. DRS, the final guy against Yangon. Say Cloud is in the front line. The grenades is going, and he's out of the grenade. His final grenade actually managed to get a connectivity. Example gets finished, and Zamza, the only guy alive, is going to take the fight against the Yangon Galacticos as a final player as well. In the proximity, Horror Esports is in the back line, so there's always a chance for a third party, and if Alter Ego decide to push as well, that's a fourth party going on.
I mean, but Alter Ego have got 15 eliminations, right? They don't have to move. They can just sit back, relax, kick up their feet, and wait to see what's going to be happening with these edge squads as they now just need to defend. It is going to be a very quick finish there by Samsa, as that is the end of the road for Yangon Galacticos. But here we have it, the final 3 squads. It's going to be the solo from DRS versus a double set of duos standing between them, and a winner chicken dinner. It's going to be Krypton and Alva. Oh no, Samsa has been spotted. That buggy is only useful if it's pointing away, not at the one shot itself. A quick shot then again coming through from Krypton. That seems to almost be the kryptonite of Samsa here.
That absolutely looks like it. Absolutely. But still, be very careful on what you're going to do. But the DRS has finally been taken down by Alter Ego. That's 16 elimination. Ladies and gentlemen, same amount of numbers that Esports had the previous match, but they were unable to get it up into the top 2. But now Alter Ego has overchanged that. Alter Ego is not only just into the top 2, but they are super close to getting that winner chicken dinner. Hora Esports, they're the only one standing between the winner chicken dinner and the 18 elimination points up against the Alter Egos at this point. So Hora, they have to do something from this point onward. Sky Hora, you can see him just kind of moving it here and there, trying to find out the players' locations. The circle is about to close as well. The stage number 7 is about to commence in a short while. And the rest of the Hora Esports, the No Fear, in fact, at this point, he's also closing on. Together that they are. Alter Ego changing their directions as well. One player taking the Murado to a back angle, whereas the second guy, in fact, Alva, is taking the fight head on. He's just prone there. He's going to make sure that anyone coming behind this ridge is going to be absolutely decimated from that point onward. Krypton, once again, using all the utilities that he can possibly have for himself, gonna get a connection almost onto the players, but no, he barely missed that. Another one coming in. Will it get a connection? The answer might surprise you, as it gets a knockdown, and Sky Hora comes into the play, getting Alva down. It's a 1 versus 1 versus Alter Egos. Alter Egos, one more step to get the winner chicken dinner. But Sky Hora, you have to actually go and finish that elimination, because he's gonna provide your location to your enemies. And there we go, that he actually did. 15 total points for 28 total points. We're gonna see after this fight is over. This is the big question. This is the big time to see who's gonna win it over. Both grenades have been thrown. Nobody's gonna get the connection, as Krypton is still at the very corner of the circle.
I mean, I thought things were going to go pretty south for Krypton as that rotation came through. Krypton essentially rotated up with a flashlight on in the dark, right, showing everybody where they're going towards. And that distraction paid off well. Unfortunately, Alva wasn't able to get the finishing play into the side here of Hora. But now, Krypton, Hora, going to find themselves in a bit of a snake-off, looking to see who will be the one to get that winner chicken dinner. Alter Ego, they're going to be smiling quite a bit, regardless of how this match ends for them. But let's see whether or not Hora are going to be the ones smiling the most. Of course, the two teams currently up in the top 2, right? Hora and Alter Ego fighting for pole position already in game number 2. What a crazy day.
Ooh, it's so amazing. I love this. I love this chaotic. I love this intense thriller match at this point. That one wrong move will mean that you're gonna lose those 4 extra crucial points. In fact, 5, because they're not actually gonna get that elimination as well. So it's all about the fact and figurines of what they are going to do. But I think the player has spotted down the hand of Alter Ego to the side, and there we go. The peak fire. It is Hora missing that first chicken dinner, but now getting that second one for themselves. But 17 elimination to Alter Ego is amazing as well. It's super amazing, as they're also going to have the 6 placement points. 17 plus 6, that's 23 more than Hora that they secured into the match number 1. Hora had 21. Now they're going to have 23 for themselves, but it all depends on how their performance was into the match number 1. And Hora Esports says, as they are going to have 16 points in total in the match number 2. That's definitely going to be a very big jump for Hora Esports as well.
Yeah, it's a nice little bit of a trade-off, as you said. Hora got 21 in the previous game, and Alter Ego had 15. Now we swap it around, where Hora comes in with the winner chicken dinner, the eliminations to go with that. So that puts them on 18 points versus the 23 coming in on the other side. So it is going to be a pretty interesting one to see what the standings look like. But I guess second time's the charm, as Hora Esports come in clutch. And what a play that was. I mean, Sky taking that play all the way to the bank, capitalizing on the carnage, the chaos, but you got to give it up to Krypton. Krypton just doing so much work, almost hitting an even 1,000 damage. I mean, just 3 more than they needed to keep that figure absolutely rounded. But what a performance nonetheless. The heaviest play that we've had so far. 8 eliminations. Absolutely insane.
That's absolutely insane. Even as a solo player, dude, that's way too intense. Way too intense. I think the highest elimination number that we have seen so far into the MVP ranking is 6. But here we go. Alter Ego with 23 points. 16, 13 for the DRS. Yangon with 7 alongside of Secret. 6 for Alpha and Irina. Voin Donkey with the 5. Talon, A1, Sem 9. Boom. 3, 3, 3, 3. 2 for Vampire and Tribero Messi. 1 for Bigatron alongside of Champions and DRX RRQ. Finally, the teams that joined, all the teams, 18 total teams that joined. We have the numbers, we have the statistics of them. But going into the overall ranking, Alter Ego now coming on to the top. Match number 1, they did really good. Match number 2, they did amazing as well, as 38 points to their name without even a single winner chicken dinner already tells the tale on how kill hungry, how elimination hungry that they are.
They went from trailing by 6 points to leading by 1. What a bounce from Alter Ego. But you got to give it up to DRS as well. The first match, 2 points. That's all they had. And they were very far down the standings, all the way in, I believe, 14th? Now they've leaped up into 3rd place in one single match. But this is where things get a little bit interesting now, because Alter Ego and Horror, they've been bringing in so much aggression, right? As you can see, 20 plus elims for both these squads. Now, they are leading by 12 points ahead of the competition in 3rd place. So if the rest of the lobby is going to try and catch them, they are going to have to try and replicate what Alter Ego and Horror have been doing in just these first 2 games.
It was just the first 2 games. On top of that, yes, this is just the start. This is just the beginning. We still have 4 more matches for the day 1 to be concluded. But going into the second page, it is Talon, 7 points. Alpha A1, in fact, 7 points. Voin Donkeys with the 6 alongside of Sem 9. Only I'm seeing the Voin Donkeys climbing some of the ladders from number 15 all the way up to the number 12. Aside from that, everybody has lost some of the placements on the ladder. 10, 11, that's 2 placements down. 13 has 3 placements down, so he was on the number 11. Now he's on the number 13th. 14 for RQ. He has lost 8 placements from first page all the way to the second page. It's crazy at this point. But Miramar, it is, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to be the next one on our list of the matches to be played. Erangel is done. Miramar is done. And once again, the match number 3, the Miramar, will commence in a short while. How the teams are going to play it up, how the teams will make it up for themselves, like the one that haven't played good for these past 2 matches, that's going to be the main question. And that question will be answered once we head into the Miramar match. But before we head over there, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well, and go to the platform.ludoma.com to register your squad up for the upcoming events as well for the Ludoma platform. We will see you after the short highlighted break. Stay here, be with us. we are, ladies and gentlemen. After this short break, we are back into the action. Past two matches, it's done and dusted, meaning another Miramar is about to commence. But before we head on over there, it's with you guys at Torix and with me once again, DK on the desk. Third match, DK, Miramar was super fast, the first one, and I'm expecting it again to be exactly on the same pace, same path, same kind of the aggression side of every single team going to haywire, completely haywire, fighting one place, another one. It's going to back and forth, 3 teams, 4 teams coming back to back against each other. There was a third, fourth party in a Miramar. You don't see that happening anytime soon.
Yeah, it's not something that happens very frequently, and if the past match is any indicator, this is going to be another one to keep a very close eye on. Yeah, we've got to make sure that you get into a good spot, get a good spread, and then from there, pull out all the stops. So, yeah, not quite sure how these squads are going to look to push through it, but with a very eastern flight path, it is going to be somewhat limiting as to where they can drop. So we could maybe be in for a few hot drops here.
I mean, this is the eastern side favored plane line, but the circle, we have seen it like time to time change to a very opposite direction of the plane line. Yes, sometimes it does go towards the plane line vicinity as well, but majority of the time it is the opposite of the plane line. So I'm hoping it goes to El Pozo this time, a hard shift, or if it wanna stays on the plane line, please go towards the Puerto Paraíso and those small island conjunctions where you will have to swim, get there, and shift over there. I want to see a water circle in the Miramar. I want to see this dry land get a little bit of the water favor for itself. But aside from that, talking about all of these teams so far, it is a Los Leones contested by the E-Arena. A1 is there. There's a champions for some reason. 2 players going into the Puerto Paraíso, the rest of the players going into the Los Leones. Yangon is already receiving a lot of damage on them. You can see them kind of low on that HP, but Sem9, they're in the air, just climbing up. Sem9 Yumiko finally getting into the car, getting in fact a Manpa right there. Gyante has a Vector. Okay, close to the vicinity. It is Yangon. The fight is definitely going to ensue. But UMB 45 on both sides. That's 1 down. Delta comes into the play. Gets the second one out as well. And in this particular location, we are seeing AST securing 2 eliminations against the Yangon Galacticos.
I'm pretty sure Gyante was like, here, quick. And then, Delta was like, don't worry, I gotcha. Coming in with a beautiful clutch, just saving their teammate. But now Gyante has the opportunity to get themselves patched up as Delta goes on cleanup duty. 2 eliminations secured so far. Let's see whether or not the rest of Yangon are going to dare to venture into the Team Eremisi territory. In the meanwhile, it is going to be A1 now going through their looting phase up here into Los Leones rather. Los Higos is somewhere else. But we do have E-Arena in here as well. But unfortunately, they are still quite some distance away. But of course, looking at Flash and the rest of A1, they could actually look to explore a little bit more and push up on towards them, especially with the zone being centered up on Los Leones.
I mean, right now, it's just 3 minutes. It's just a couple of players that got eliminated. We still have a full match to go before we can conclude on what's going to happen for the rest of the lobby. But this is the halfway point of the day number 1. This match will be the halfway transition point. After this, there's going to be a sudden change in the momentum of the teams and their strategies as well. Maybe the teams that were not performing, maybe they will go for a different strategy of aggression. Some of them that were working the things out, they're gonna stay on the same a particular strategy as well. But Hora, the last match winner in the Chicken Takers so far is just chilling out there 2,600 meters away outside of the circle. So first things first, do they have a car? Do they have any vehicle? This is the big question, because if they don't, they are in for a very big and long run it's gonna be a marathon for them to get into the circle first and foremost. But there we go. No fear. He has the monster truck. He has the truck. He's definitely gonna pick everybody up. So they're definitely gonna focus on the arsenal first and foremost. So it's super stale for some reason. The amount of aggression that we had into the first Miramar, the fast pace that it was, it's nowhere even close into the match number 3 transition point.
Yeah, but I think Miramar must come with one of those little stickers that you see on your rearview mirror. It's the opposite, where objects are much further away than they appear. Right?
Yes.
The rearview mirror says objects are actually much closer. This one should say it's much further away. Of course, Miramar is an enormous map, so it makes sense that it takes a little while for these teams to find each other. It's not because of a lack of searching, right? They are looking for each other. And the moment they find each other, we'll know about it. But yeah, I think this is going to build a nice little bit of tension coming into the later stages of this match. I think round about the next 2 minutes, we are going to be seeing the teams already starting with a little bit of action. I wanted to say stage 2, but I don't even think they're going to wait that long. Yep, there we go. It's going to be Balya, the first one down for the side there of champions. And I think that's our 3rd casualty for this match so far.
Yeah, that's the only 3rd casualty so far, but another one coming into the way as Yummy Johan gets taken down by Arena. Wait a minute, that's a 3rd party. As Boomy's force is taking the fight against Champion, there is the Arena coming in, taking the fight against a Boom. So it's a back and forth, Karma hitting back, you get one down, you get eliminated right there and then. So everybody, aside from Arena, has lost a 1-1 player in this location, whether it's Boom, whether it's the Champion, 1 so far, but 18 out of 18 teams. Once again, it's a full lobby, it's a full team lobby going on, and everybody is in the game as well. So far, Champions, 2 players, ERK Forest T, and alongside of Atomic, they're together. Keno, on the other hand, he's staying close to E-Arena as a player. That's Joker into the city mountaintops. You can see the rest of the E-Arena just chilling out there, getting prone. But oh, there was a headshot. There was a connectivity. Keno did manage to get a headshot, single headshot connectivity on the players, but now he's struggling. The taps, they're not going to work as well, but finally he does it. Wait a second. If he gets even a single more headshot, this can be disastrous for E-Arena as they might get a knockdown on them.
Yep, they definitely might, but let's see if that might is going to turn into power as Champions Esports now move into that southern side of Los Leones. Boom Esports going to try and survive a little while longer. I think they're going to maybe avoid rushing onto compounds on the edge of zone like we saw over onto Erangel. Still can't believe we saw 6 teams all going out in exactly the same compound. But yeah, now it's going to be Alter Ego getting ready for a little bit of a something here as they start to move on up. It is going to be Daybot just covering the back end. See Mastery off in the distance, so you got to keep that head on a swivel. Krypton ready on the front line. Looking for a few angles, looking for a little bit of something, but not finding a clear line of sight just yet.
Not a clear line of sight so far. Be very careful what you're gonna do. Slowly and steadily, they are entering. But, Boom Sports, kind of low on that HP. Low on that HP. Heal yourself as soon as possible. Vampire versus TRS. It's happening in a different location. Hora, A7, Yangon. These are the 3 names that are still outside of the blue zone, taking that blue damage for themselves. But the team that is close into the proximity, taking those fights, is the Boom Esports so far. Going back near from the E-Arena, and E-Arena is going to do absolutely nothing about it.
Ooh, they're just waving at them now, but DRS, Samsa! Yeah, I don't know what that was. Maybe they were like, hey, look, a boulder! Bam! Vampire Esports go down. Maybe that was a strategy, a tactic that Samsa used to distract the rest of Vampires. But what a play, as we do say goodbye to 2 players there from the side of Vampire, concluding their entire squad. And that is now us left with 17. Still some pretty steep numbers to work with here. But let's see where this will go as Alpha 7 now starts to come through with their rotation. Of course,
Oh,
on that
nice.
far side of zone. A long, long way to go still.
I mean, right now, he's changing the tire first, and one thing, and he's definitely going to be taken out because of that, because Nia comes in, did not let the player change the tire, and now Molotov's on its way. Talon Esports, they're going to lose one player at this location, but Nia, Yoru Johan gets taken down. I'm talking about Talon, and Talon in this match has yet to get even a single elimination for them. They don't have even a single point in this match particularly, so they have been kind of going on the slow pace. They still have like less than double digits. E-Arena is in the proximity where they also might take those fights for them, but so far, unless it's stage number 4, I can totally see that there is no fight that's going to happen. Yes, there might be some players like dropping down 1 or 2 from different teams, but not a full-fledged fight of the whole team versus team, third party coming into the vicinity, getting those connectivities, taking down the team that actually took down one team at that point. Boom Esports versus Team Secret on our screen as well. The shots, the fights started, and as soon as GK is going to get taken down, look at this. The momentum just completely broke off.
Is an interesting play coming through from our squads here. Frankie though, 007. Gonna try dip, duck, dive, and dodge their way through the spray down. Not quite sure what Team Secret's doing up on the hill. Maybe trying to tank a few hits here. As Octa has a good line of sight there. Or rather had. It is now left the area. In the meanwhile, it's gonna be Alpha 7 and Voin Donkey getting ready for a little bit of a something here. As you can see, Zeta now starting to push on forward. Horror starting to push in on towards that northeastern side. Right up ahead, Team Secret has got the gate open for them. Now it's going to be Frankie up on the front line. Xeris, the first one down. Quick little bit of a confirmation coming through on that one. Jiggle also now starting to climb the hill. And this is going to be Team Secret now coming through with a slight bit of a retreat. Trying to put some distance in between themselves and that onslaught coming through from the side of Horror. But you got to watch out though. This is not a safe spot to be in. And of course, Horror going to keep their eyes open.
They do have to keep their eyes open. Everybody has to keep their eyes peeled. Alpha 7, Horror, Wine Donkeys outside the blue zone. Taking that blue damage, but Alter Ego versus Boom it is, ladies and gentlemen. The fight started. Boom Esports losing a player, but Alter Ego securing that second elimination. Let's see how well are they going to be optimized in this fight against Boom Esports. Are they going to be able to take any more of the players down or not? Triber Messi so far with the 3 elimination. The only team in this lobby with the second highest number of eliminations so far. The first highest is the DRS. DRS got actually 4 elimination, and I think they took down Vampire Esports at that point in time. E-Arena versus Champions. It's once again happening. The fight has once again commenced as E-Arena, they're the ones on the receiving end this time around. One player got taken down. The second one is right now knocked up, meaning E-Arena is down to the 2 players as it is. Alter Ego, 4-man, corner of the circle. They have the arsenal. They have their cars. Every transportation is for them as well available. But Alpha 7 on our screen, getting away from the BTR, but straight into near the faces of one of the player of the Wine Donkeys. That is Zeta, but Mafioso, he's not going to move, he's not going to stop, he's not going to shoot at the players, he's actually going to stay calm, stay composed, stay into the back lines, let the player move forward, and then he's going to just take the corner for himself.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with the corner at all, but let's see what DRS is going to do in their corner of the circle here as they start to move on up to A1 rather. As you can see, CJ, ooh, cheeky nade, there we go. Samsa with the opener, 1 down, a few more to go, and A1's like, nah, it's okay, we'll leave. We'll just try and run away, try and play a little bit of a safer game now. Flash with a quick reaction there, just dipping back behind the ridge. But now, of course, all this noise has attracted even more attention. Up comes BTR. And I'm pretty sure I saw a P90 there. So that could be quite a bit of a problem now for DRS. Example, as BTR are going to get ready to move on forward. We did see Kent really quickly taking down one of the players from Alpha 7 a little while ago with that Mini 14. But now, BTR Bumblebee going to get stung here as Example sends it out with the AUG. Just trying to keep them at arm's reach. Keep them on the edge there. Not allowing them any entry into the zone. JD, in the meanwhile, is going to use this opportunity to reposition. Come through with a bit of a flank. This is now that angle that DRS is going to look to play on towards them. Alter Ego now quickly going to pick themselves back up. But we do say goodbye to Boom Esports, as Doom is not going to be able to hold on for the rest of this match. Out they go with 2 eliminations up. Alter Ego trying to get themselves back into fighting form. A flame here from Talon starting to move on up. You can see the mollies all over the place. Reboy keeping a nice steady angle, making sure that they can successfully pull off the res. But look at Zeta there from Boyne and Donkey. Got to look to play a bit of an upset here. Maybe could send a few utilities out to try and get that damage.
They're dumping the utility to at least get the player as low as possible before actually pushing on. But Boyne Donkey, they're going to be taken down. It's over, ladies and gentlemen. One more team, the third one to, in fact, second one to get eliminated. 18, 17, 16. Third one to get eliminated right there after 16-minute marker in the game. Stage number 4, ladies and gentlemen. And 15 teams are still into the lobby. There's only going to be one. There's only going to be one winner. We have to see who it's going to be. 16 minutes have passed so far. 4th stage is also closing on within 1 minute and 40 seconds from this point onward. You can see Tribero Messi close to A1, close to Talon. There is the Yangon Galacticos, and there is also the rest of the players of the Talon esports as well. But Tribero Messi finally spotting down one player. The tap fires gave away your location, but also did some of the damage on towards the player side as well. But not enough to get them taken down, not enough to get them knocked out at this point. But Atomic so far slowly approaching this corner situation. Alter Ego is close, and they are pushing. They are coming towards the champion's location. This can be a fight that might start, that might initialize with the grenades, with the throwables, but we will have to see how it's going to end.
Find out pretty soon indeed. Now, 15 teams having to cram into stage number 5. That is going to be absolute chaos, carnage, and mayhem. You can see Trang holding a little bit of an overwatch position here, trying to see if anybody's going to come over that ridge, but the pesky wall for the building keeps on staying in their way. Now, Bumblebee coming through with that P90, riding the ridge. I knew I saw it somewhere. Let's see whether or not BTR is going to be able to get the most out of the spray, though. Keeping a very tight angle onto Alpha 7. Not quite sure if they're going to come through with a full send, or are they just waiting for Alpha 7 to start moving. Oh, look at that. Sem9 off the distance. You got to watch out. There's so many ways that this can go. I love the nades, though. Kent. Prepped, primed, and ready. Waiting for something. One little pixel to be out of place. DRS, though, I like that position that they've got as well, right? Just along the road. So as soon as Bigatron by Vitality starts to rotate up, there's going to be so much focus on their position.
There's definitely going to be a lot of focus there. But Bumblebee so far going back to the vicinity where Alpha 7 is residing. Bigatron by Vitality. Let's see if Mafioso is going to be spotted, or he's going to be the one that is going to be responsible for at least one of the players of Bigatron Vitality to go get taken down. So far, it's grenade barrages going on. Alpha 7 moving from one point to another one, point A to point B. Circle's going to start, and there we go. Now everybody needs to run. Everybody has to get in the circle somehow, and whosoever is going to try to do that is definitely going to be absolutely decimated at this point, at least at this location. As Bigatron is looking at the back, they know Alpha 7 is residing there, and Alpha 7 knows that at least at one point in time there should be the team that will actually try to move, and that is the time that they should also be aiming for. But Senna, Doc, so far, on that HP, healed himself. There we go. There we go. So far, Senna Book moving forward slowly and steadily alongside of Mafioso. A grenade is coming to this direction, but nope, nobody's gonna get the connection. But BTR, they're not backing off as well. Even though the circle is closing on, they almost have the very corner of the safe zone area. 1 meter. Senna, let's see. Inside the circle so far, stage number 5 is for Alpha 7, but BTR, the location that they have themselves on the top of the ridge, if the smoke dissipates, it's an easy vantage point against Alpha 7.
Yeah, it's all about those vantage points getting capitalized upon. It is going to be Mafioso now trying to just dip out of dodge as they quickly come through with that rotation. But again, a lot of carnage ensuing in the feed. Mafioso, unfortunately, not going to be making it out safely as they will get picked on up. Now let's see whether or not Senup can actually survive this. It is going to be BTR still holding quite steadily up on the ridge. But unfortunately, if you move out of this position, it is going to be nothing but lobby. So you can see that feed also going absolutely crazy with all the hits now starting to line themselves up on the other edge of the zone. It is going to be Alter Ego and E Arena finding themselves in a bit of a standoff here. Is a 2v2. Now, who will be the one to walk out of this in one piece? Oh, Tony K. Very, very close here to Krypton. Oh, the shot is in. Absolutely beautiful showing. But as quick as the knock came through, Tony K getting dropped right on down. It is going to be Krypton now relaying a little bit of information over here to Daybot.
I mean, Daybot, amazing initialization. There we go, another extra kill on the connection, getting another one down. It's a 1v1 potentially, but finish first, think later. Alter Ego in the meanwhile gets finished off by NC2. Still gonna lose one of the player at the very least. Turkey K being ripped, but on the other side through the window we can see DRX versus Yangon Galacticos going head to head against each other in a tussle. The grenades are going on to the BTR and DRS side as well. The smokes have been deployed. Zamza has that M416 in hand, but there's a P90. There's a P90 to his opponent's hand, so it's definitely going to be a no-brainer whether you need to take the fight, whether you need to not take the fight. But BTR, they're not actually pushing. This is one thing that I'm looking at, is the fact that nobody is actually over-pushing the situation. First off, they get the knockdown. After that, they decide to push. But Zamda getting a knockdown. This is the moment. JD, the last guy, is taken down by the BTR. There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. A 9 elimination to the DRS side. And they have been eliminated on the 11th spot. No point of the placement whatsoever once again. But Yangon Galacticos down to the last two that they are as well. Look at the kill feed. Sem9, Talon constantly going head to head against each other.
Yep, quite a bit of an exchange from both ends there, but for the time being, it is going to be Yangon Galacticos trying to hold it nice and steady. E Arena now situated to their north, and of course DRX coming through on that southern side, so this could be quite a sticky spot to be in. Alpha 7 not going to be making it past that 10th position as they too will make their way out of here. This is where things are going to get increasingly more challenging. The blue zone is going to be closed up in the next minute and 20 seconds. DRX riding the ridge, looking for an angle, looking for an opportunity. They want to get themselves a nice position to rotate on forward. Delta coming through with that domination award as well. But let's see what Master Smile and Say Cloud are going to be doing. Just holding nice and steady here. Nothing all too risky, too crazy, but the Mollies have found their way on through as well. Talon on the opposite side here, going to be looking to contest against the side of Sem9. Sem9 starts moving into the vehicles, hopping, pushing for the zone. Oh, cheeky spray down as Axel lands a few hits, but not enough to do the damage. Here we go, a quick little bit of a trade-off now coming in between Horror and
That's the
BTR,
herd.
both of the teams at the top of the leaderboard, now getting ended before they can even secure a single placement points. Although a lot of aggression being shown.
I'm looking at one factor. First game, it was Hora. Second game, it was Alter Ego. Now, we are seeing the same kind of aggression from the side of Tribero Messi and BTR. They are the ones getting those 8-7 eliminations so far, and I can totally believe they can get it up to, ramp it up to a top-notch 15, maybe 16 eliminations as well. They just need a little bit of time. Talon Esports so far, they are giving that revive towards their players, but look at the circle stage. This amount of teams, this amount of players, 27 total teams, in this small of stage of a circle, it's not possible whatsoever without having a very heavy casualty to yourself. But there we go, Turney K throwing a grenade. Will Big Mama be affected by it? The location is affected, but not the player. Player is still into the safe side area. Another grenade goes over. No connection. Oh my god. For a second, I thought we're finally going to have a connection. We're finally going to have a knock. No, the answer is no. Tribero Messi, 4 players, 8 elimination. Big Mama finally getting up, and Talon taking them instantly down. It's a knock, it's a confirmation, and it's a 6th elimination towards the players. As Boyza, you can see, Boyza, he has 5 individual eliminations so far.
Yeah, doing a pretty good job indeed. So Talon now looking to see if they can bank on a little bit more of this beautiful position on towards the southern side. Can still play quite a bit of an angle onto the side here of DRX now, who starts to move on up. That's going to be Tony K opening the gate here as Big Papa gets dropped right on down. Yangon Galacticos are going to be making their way out of here as well, as Arena helps them out the door. Now, Talon keeping it nice and quiet, waiting patiently to see who's going to be the next one to poke their head out, spotting a bit of an angle over towards Tony K. The action is now going to unravel here, as it's going to be a full send from Nia, finding the play on towards Reboy. 2 players now left on the back line. This is going to be DRX's opportunity to go for gold. Are they going to be able to get the job done? Arena, the next one out of here. Talon now really feeling the sting here, as you can see Axel super low on that HP, but up comes the nade, not reaching all the way across. The Flame needs to watch out because BTR is going to come in hot. That is yet another play for Talon down. Nia now getting a little bit of that heat as BTR starts to move on forward again. Kent coming through with that Mini 14, just poking into any pixel out of place. Full send coming through here from the rest of the team, but look at that hit, or a Flame just about to join the lobby along the rest of their team. Now, down to the final 3 we go.
Final 3 it is, a 1 versus 4 versus 4. BTR 10 eliminations. In the front line, there's a Tribero Messi with the 4 players as well, and 3 of them having compound to their name. Bigatron completely into the open, but they have like the better of the circle right now for themselves. Tribero Messi, the next circle, it's not going to be for these guys whatsoever, that I can say for sure, but so far, Giante, you have the opportunity to get a knockdown. Any one of the players from the Tribero Messi, if they can get a knockdown, then they can actually push on towards the players. But other than that, I think BTR will have the highest probability of securing that Vinavina Chicken Era. But A1, he's just chilling with those 0 elimination for the whole team, and not even a single breather that his location is going to be revealed. He wants to make sure that he comes into the hashtag number 2 badly.
Yeah, well, of course, the time is going to run out very soon, as we've got about 40 seconds left until we hit stage number 9. That is going to be the final zone. Bigatron by Vitality now looking to assert themselves across the zone. Team Aramisi locking down that eastern front. And this is where things are looking pretty grim now for A1. Their solo is caught in between a rock and a hard place. Fortunately, that Shack can buy them a little bit of time, but not quite sure how much time they will be allotted here. Still, 9 eliminations now for Team Aramisi versus the 10 coming through from BTR. Someone is going to try and potentially pick up 5 additional eliminations, and this one Molly could end it all now for A1. Oh, Rowdy just trying to stay ahead of the Flames for the blue zone. Going to start bringing in a bit of a helping hand. as it does find Delta, and it is going to be go time as the blue zone now starts to close on up. It is going to force the hand there of Tribe Eremacy. They will have to move into BTR.
Man, I don't even know how in the world did A1 Giante just survived over there. In fact, he survived. Now Giante just barely managed to survive that bullet, but not for enough, as 2 players get instantly, 3 players instantly get decimated right there of the Tribe Eremacy. That's 3 more elimination, 2 more to go. 15 elimination, a winner of the chicken dinner is loading, ladies and gentlemen, for the Bigatron Esports this time around for Drawless. Look at the right side. Look at the right side. There is a guy from the Tribe Eremacy just waiting out for you. But wait a second, did BTR just threw a grenade at their own player? That's exactly what happened. 1 player is down, and he is in really need of that revival as soon as possible. But Rowdy, he's throwing the Molotov, the grenades, it's all going there. The stage is closing on as well, but let's see how BTR is going to take this opportunity into their hand to get that winner chicken dinner on the front line. The revive has been delayed. The revive has been stopped, and on top of that, that's 2 more elimination. It's a 1 versus 1 versus 1. It's a 3-way deadlock going around for all of these 3 teams. Molotov coming into the play. Rig still staying alive. The grenade going forward. The S12K 1897, in fact, is gonna get the connection, and the guy that was all alone throughout till the very end with 1 elimination, he's gonna get 10 additional points for that winner chicken dinner. A1 it is, ladies and gentlemen, from 0 to hero, coming straight up in match number 3.
What a clutch. What a way to ride out the storm, and what a storm it was. It was absolute chaos. It was an bloodshed of chaos just erupting all around the place here. But what a way to play it out. A1 going to be sitting quite comfortably now with that winner chicken dinner. Of course, coming into this match, they had a few points to their name, right? A1 came in with 7, now adding at least a minimum of 10 points to their name. But here we go. What a performance indeed. Rowdy showing that they know exactly how to outlast and survive to the very, very end. Crazy performances indeed. But, of course, we got to see what those scores look like. First up, though, it's going to be our MVP. So, Torix, this is where I ask you, any prediction? Too late. Here we go. The answer is Rig.
We have Rig as the MVP. Even though the team couldn't get the chicken, they were super close. Oh my god, they were so close. And right now, yet they are so far from the winner of the chicken dinner. But still, MVP is to their name. 6 elimination, 1,266 damage. Almost 30 minutes, 29.5 minutes of survival time. This is a very big survival right there. But going into the match ranking, it is 18 points for the Tribe Eremacy, even though they got on the hashtag number 2. Bigatron by Vitality on the hashtag number 3. They get 18 points for themselves as well. Then we have A1 Esports with 12 total points. In fact, that's 2 elimination that they managed to secure. Okay, I thought it was just 1, but no, in fact, it's 2 elimination that they're going to have. Talon Esports, a total of 11 points, 9 for DRX, 8 for E-Arena. DRX is with 7, 6 for Alter Ego, alongside of 5 for Hora. Yangon with the 3, 2 for Alpha and Boom, 1 for Sim9, RIQ Ryu. But the rest of the 4 teams, Champions, Secret, One Donkeys, Vampire, just the donuts.
Yeah, I guess there was a little bit too much sunlight over on Miramar for Vampires to have a good run. But hey, it was a very hot and heated game, as we saw some pretty impressive plays. 2 teams with 18 points. Absolutely crazy business. Bigatron, I like the fact that they decided, this time around, it's their chance to go for the crazy scores. And of course, speaking about crazy scores, Team Eremacy now going to be moving up into that 3rd place. As you can see them jumping up 4 slots, but Bigatron by Vitality climbing up 10 positions all the way into 5th.
That's a very, very big jump. We're seeing so many big jumps. Last match, it was 11 total placement jumps. This time, it's a BTR with 10 placements of a jump from a 2nd page all the way to the 1st page coming around. Hashtag number 5, 22 total points. DRX 21. Young Gun Galacticos, 14 total points. Alpha 7 with 14, 10 for Secret. Sem 9 having 7, 6 for Void Donkeys. RRQ with a 6, alongside a 5 for Boom. Vampire and Champion, they're not going to move away from their directions, but you can see RRQ, Void Donkey. They lost some of their placements. Secret lost. Alpha 7 lost 6 placements. Yangon lost 4. So, every single match, we're seeing a lot of changes in this overall point structure, overall ranking table. Teams are not just dropping by 1 or 2 points. We're seeing a major drop of 4, 5, even 10